I like it, and I think using data and metrics in your decision making within any HR is really important. Found that ISO 3414 existed because I don't think many people even now know that it does.
I see a lot of people who are coming from other fields who understand the benefit of standards, and then working in or related to HR are seeing how it would be beneficial to the HR profession. What's in it for the stakeholders of HR that is this project, these standards?
It's a good question because there has to be a value to it. So, and I think there's a variety of values to it. The most important one, I think, is creating good data or great data. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I've been around HR long enough to know that we are generating data, but it's something that we're not great at as a function. You go to finance and they are much more thorough, I suppose. And when you're dealing with human capital or people, it's a lot more difficult. So I think, what's in it for them? I think if you get great data, you get great decision making. And I think on an individual level, you get more influence. Managing people in just about the data. Oh God, we don't want to get to that point. But what it does do is give you intelligence about your decision making. So I think that's the biggest thing for HR people. There's a bias, conscious or unconscious, on your own personal experiences why people are leaving. And you put that on, and that then becomes the truth. And of course it isn't. And that's a really good example where data plays a part, because then it takes it away from that bias and gives you a much more rounded discussion. For me, is you wouldn't expect a finance person to turn up in the C-suite without knowing the numbers. And I think it's the same with HR. That's the point we have to get to. Yeah. And that's what I like about the ISO. It does it, doesn't it, Brad? It gives you that framework to come with your numbers. You can have both. It's not one or the other. So I think driving forward with data does not mean that you have an HR function that just takes all the emotion out of it. That's not what we're saying. All we're saying is it helps you make better decisions around things affecting your people, Well, if you've got all those measurements, what's it going to tell you? It's going to tell you trends of your business. It allows you to benchmark against other organizations. And really, if you had all of those 58 metrics, imagine the intelligence of debate that would bring to an organization. And as we progress this, what's going to be really interesting when everyone does it. So then that's when it becomes more and more powerful, because you can benchmark. So if you're making a decision whether I go to company A or B, well, have a look at the data. If everyone goes after the first 3 months, then why would you bother joining them? It actually becomes really real and really useful for us all. There's something to promote your organization. If you think of it tactically, EVP, employee value proposition, will increase because you've got better metrics and you can promote those. I think the challenge will come when companies are struggling and their metrics aren't so great. But then that becomes, again, really useful because it helps you improve. Where would our industry be now, really, within, say, manufacturing without metrics? Yeah, and I can see why the investors and the pension funds are pushing it. The thing you were talking about, the drive to intangible assets, is real, isn't it? That's a real part of company value. So if you're investing in it, I don't blame them pushing the measurement of human capital and measurement of people, because it's a big part of any business nowadays. But you're right, that the pushes come from the top. Yeah. And when I look at some of the things that are happening around, the investor community, or, when you look at some of the great work happening in Deutsche Bank, like the recent stuff with Heiko, which I'm sure you'll talk about when you speak to Heiko. I think that's fantastic. And that's at that level, and it's pushing this awareness down. I think what we also need to do is push that awareness up, through operational HR, because they're going to be the ones doing it, really, when it comes down to it. And I think part of the battle is not just the measurement, it's making sure that what you measure is accurate. Yeah. So, that's going to rely on your systems, your process, and then it gets very transactional very quickly. So I think what people would need to do is invest in their systems and their process to make sure what they're reporting is accurate. If I was an HR person in a corporate job now, I'd be getting myself aware of it. What does it mean? What are all the different aspects of this? When I look at the other standards across my career, we kind of did it when we had to do it. You know, when it became commonplace in the market, if you didn't do it, then you kind of stood out. That's how I got involved. So I was quite excited about, I knew that our industry, the HR industry, needed some sound metrics. So I was kind of converted. I was then just searching around, well, what is the best one to use? And I plumped on the ISO because I think it's great. There's loads, it's global, and it's from a recognized organization. So I think get involved, get educated about it, see what the standard is, ask someone who knows what they're talking about, and see if it's relevant to you and your business. That's what I would stress.
Do you have a website that you would recommend people to find out more information?
Well, our HCM Impact website is a good first.
Absolutely. Yeah.
First spot on that. I think that's go there, and that helps you educate yourself about the ISO. That's what I would do.
Yeah. HCM, it's HCM-impact, one word, so to speak, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So with that, I want to then thank Richard Frost for being our guest today, and wish everyone an excellent rest of your day and week. Cheers from Dubai.
Cheers.
Thanks, Richard.
Cheers.